But here we have Côte de Gascogne. So Côte de Gascogne is originally known for Armagnac up until around the 70s and 80s. And basically some producers got together, and when Armagnac was starting to kind of find a little bit of a glut in the marketplace, some producers, including Mont, which we'll talk about with the Simon, got together and said, hey, why don't we make some great dry white wines? And we have all of this Uni Blanc and Colombard, things that were used for distillation. So we have, as Greg and I talked about a little earlier, a really empty canvas to some degree with these two grape varieties, mainly Uni Blanc being very neutral, very fresh in acidity, also known as Trebbiano in Italy. And then you have Colombard, which has, it's somewhere between the neutrality of Uni Blanc and Sauvignon Blanc, because you can get some nice citrus aromatics, some green apple aromatics, some minerality from it. And you add a little bit of two very high-quality grape varieties, Gros Manseng, which we'll talk about a little bit, and Petit Manseng, and you add in Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay. You add complexity to these otherwise, fairly, neutral and easy drinking grape varieties. You add to that some investment and some really clean winemaking, and you have these really successful wines from Côte de Gascogne. Within the Gascony region, you also have a few other regions, one of which is the Semont region, which is right here. This is Semont. It's on the Adore River, and the wines are informed by some soils that are represented here. There's a soil type called Boulben, which is little pebbles that come from the river. You have a mixtures of clays and mixtures of limestone here as well. And so Semont kind of is, the little brother to Madiran and Pacheron du Vic-Bilh. So if you know about Madiran, the red wines of Madiran are very firm. The grape varieties Tannat. It is known to be one of the heart healthiest wines in the world. A doctor named Roger Corder wrote a book on this and named Madiran the heart healthiest wine in the world because of its high levels of skin and polyphenolics and something called procyanidine, which is heart healthy. So the red wines of both Côte de Gascogne and Semont also have Tannat in them, as well as Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, and a little bit of Merlot, and in some cases in Semont and Madiran, Pinot, which is also known as Brocal. The white wines of Semont, which we'll taste tonight, typically behave sort of like Jurançon, sec, so dry Jurançon, and dry Jurançon and dry Pacheron du Vic-Bilh. The main grape varieties that we're going to talk about are Gros Manseng and Petit Manseng, related grape varieties, but Gros Manseng behaves like a lot like Sauvignon Blanc. Very citrus and quince and herbaceous, and also kind of like unripe melon, but very high in acidity. And then Petit Manseng likes to ripen a little bit later, and typically is used often in sweet wines or to bump the texture or alcohol of the dry wine. And that you're going to see here in the Semont wines. So Semont behaves more like Pacheron du Vic-Bilh sec or Jurançon sec. So if you have reference to those wines, I believe that you will find some similarities if you've tasted any Jurançon or Pacheron, dry Pacheron in your tastings. But these wines are very crisp, very clean. Again, influenced by the Atlantic Ocean, so you get that really crisp acidity. You get a little bit of there's that cooling effect from the Atlantic Ocean. So for me, these wines are great the first two wines are going to be great to start off your meal, to sit on the porch and just drink a nice crisp glass of white wine. These are for, I would even say, kind of the Pinot Grigio drinker might like the Côte de Gascogne wines. And then the Semont wines are going to be more, I think you'll find, our friends out there, that you're going to want to have some food. These wines can handle a little bit of fat in the food. They can handle things like pâté. They can handle any type of seafood, shellfish. They also go well with a mixture of vegetables and kind of crudité type activity. And they work well with white meats also. I would say the saumons work well with chicken, pork, those type of white meats, veal. But it's all about duck down in this area in the world. So I would say, you know, if you can get your hands on some cold foie gras, this is the way to go.